Welcome to the Cork Utensil Project from Montour Falls Library with designer and entrepreneur Jessie Junko Beardsley. This project is made possible in part with the public funds from New York State Council on the Arts Decentralization Program administered regionally by the Arts Council of the Southern Finger Lakes. I'm Jessie Junko Beardsley, your project guide, and the Arts Council and I go way back. I've always loved participating in their signature fundraiser event, Recouture, and this fall I have a new piece coming out that I'm really excited to give you guys a sneak peek of that I will be creating with my business partner here at Hector Handmade. We're making a really cool dress out of paint chips. And in the honor of making things out of garbage, let's work with a valuable local resource that we have right here, corks. There are a lot of beautiful wineries here in the Finger Lakes, and I was lucky enough to grow up at Rosta Ranch Vineyards. Needless to say, I have a lot of access to corks, and they're pretty easy to acquire here anyway, so you can pretty much ask any winery if they would donate, save some corks for you. But you should have a kit complete with corks and glue and a can. So those are really the only things that we need to do this project. A regular size tin can is going to work best because these corks are all fairly uniform size and shape. If you happen to get like a champagne cork accidentally or a plastic cork that's like a different size, maybe you don't want to use that one, but it's going to take about 36 corks to go perfectly around the tin can. So like I said, you'll need some glue. I'm going to make mine with hot glue today. We're going to start with the bottom of the can. The can's already been cleaned and the top has been removed. So starting from the bottom, we'll get like a really nice even way to move everything up the top. So you don't want to put your cork too far below the ledge. You just want to have it resting right at the bottom, and you don't really need glue all the way around the cork, really just like the middle third. So I'm going to squeeze some of my hot glue just like so, and you can decide if you want to place if there's a picture or a word on the cork face up or not. You can use the back side where it's perfectly clear. And you know, just as you're going, give it a second to dry. And take your next cork, add your glue, and just kind of shift over a little bit. We're kind of just lining up against the edges of the cork here. So give yourself a little bit of time and be patient. You don't want to rush it. If you're using E6000, that's definitely going to want a little bit more dry time. And you might want to use something like corks to position on the sides of your can, so that'll prevent it from rolling. I want that one to face up. So you see how we're just placing them like so. So before we get completely around, you want to stop because corks aren't perfectly uniform. Many of these have been used, and some of them are like longer and shorter than each other. So you can see there's some variation. This is upcycling, so things aren't always perfect. So just before you finish any of the row, you want to line up the corks and make sure you have a couple of pieces that are going to kind of finish out snugly. You don't really want to have a gap in between the pieces. So it feels like I need my two shortest corks. You can kind of use a little bit of wiggle room, and see how I'm just moving this one up a little bit to give it the space that it needs. So after you have this first row all put together, I like to kind of go through and check on the back end if there's any spots that could use a little bit of extra hot glue, and just kind of touch those up before we go to the next row. So I'm touching up from the bottom so that I don't have big clumps of glue that will be visible on the top row, because these are going to be kind of staggered. So once you have the bottom all touched up, all your glue is in place, you have this first row of corks all the way around your can. We're going to go on up to the second row. And every time we go up a row, we're going to alternate our design. So where there's the gap here, we're going to center our first cork. And that will kind of lay the groundwork so that we can easily move around. So you can see here with our alternated design, we have it started so that there's the centerpiece of the cork right above the joint right here. And again, just kind of keep going through. I'm going to put a cork underneath the top of my can to keep it level. And every row you kind of alternate like this. So we're just going to do it the same way. Oops, didn't have my glue on there so good. We're just going to keep doing this the same process all the way around. And you just want to, again, stop before you get to the last two. So I'm placing it, making sure I have enough space, moving my guys where they need to be. So that feels pretty good. Get a little extra glue in there if you need to come from the top sometimes. Positioning my last cork on this row, and then, like I said, every other row you just alternate, and then you just, when you have it all put together, it's going to be a beautiful utensil container that you can use for lots of different things. Maybe it's for your pens, maybe it's for your utensils at home, maybe it's for some flowers. And there you have it. We have this cool container that is decorated and made of garbage. Now, the cans, of course, can be recycled, but corks can't, and they can be repurposed, and I think that this makes a really cool option for lots of things, and I can't wait to hear about how you guys use them. Please let me know in the comments here, and I hope that this has inspired you to maybe create some more things out of unusual repurposed objects. So thanks so much for hanging out, and I can't wait to see how your utensil project came out.